This is a channeled message. Forgive anybody you need to forgive. Forgive everybody you need to forgive. Work on your heart to work on forgiveness, because that is how you allow the blessings that are to come. You have blessings on the way that cannot reach you. They cannot reach your address, the address that you're currently living at mentally, in terms of your consciousness, is the wrong address, or nothing is reachable there. It's like I'm seeing like a house in the middle of nowhere, like an isolated place, like you've isolated yourself from your own inner work. You've run from your own inner work, and forgiving people, forgiving yourself for how situations played out, forgiving yourself for being silent, forgiving yourself for speaking out maybe when it didn't end well. Like, it's okay, you're okay. You can forgive yourself for anything and everything that has happened. For other people, I'm getting you feel as though you can't forgive yourself because the situation has to do with somebody that has left this realm. You can still, if you, there's so many ways to go about this. You can go to God and you can ask for his forgiveness and for him to forgive the situation, both you and the other person. You can go to the other person in spirit as well, depending on where you want to go, but you can reach out to them energetically and ask for their forgiveness, and also forgive them. Let them know they are forgiven. It'll free the contract between you and the other party or parties. So nothing is ever void, nothing is ever lost in the universe, and nothing is ever too late. Like, that's the thing. We are above time to the point where we actually create time. We can create time for ourselves in the material plane. And a lot of people do not know this. They're not tapped into the element of magic or to the realm of miracles. They don't understand how God works. And they don't understand the fact that we have the ability to understand how God works. He has granted us that privilege to be able to understand him, or to be able to seek to understand him, or to be able to spend a lifetime attempting to understand him. We have that privilege as human beings, and so we should be trying to understand, how does he create time? Time is mercy. So let's say you do something, right? And instead of, receiving the karma immediately for that situation, God will grant you time and the ability to change your actions, your response to a situation, or your action in the situation. And in doing so, you will have the opportunity to change, to become a new soul. And so if you don't change, well, what happens is you just keep attracting that same situation over and over again. And then eventually it'll culminate in something that becomes an even bigger problem that now you have to solve. Maybe it'll hit the body and result in some illness. Maybe it will result in mental chaos, or illness or depression. Whatever it is, right? Ultimately, it is up to us to heal. It is our responsibility and journey to heal and to rectify our own emotional stance in any situation that we have been a part of. It is our responsibility. There's this quote that I love that says, "What happened to you was not your fault, but healing from it is your responsibility." And I kind of agree with it, except for the fact that, what happens to us, the things that happen to us actually happen for us. So it's not that they are a fault of ours or not, it's that we have attracted them in with our energy, even from previous lifetimes. So, for example, personally, as a child, right, I did not grow up in the easiest environment. But I knew, I think subconsciously, that it was fine. I never complained or anything. And as an adult, I started to realize that, oh, that wasn't normal, and like that wasn't like healthy. Some of it, right? There was a little bit of like mental, like entrapment and such, and identity like entrapment, and just a little bit of pain that I had to endure as a child. And so as an adult, you can repeat these patterns, these childhood wounds, until you realize that, oh my God, I'm at my breaking point. I'm in so much pain. Why am I going through this? And that's exactly what happened with me. That is how I began my spiritual journey. And that's when I had my awakening, or that was the beginning of my awakening. And so, at that point, that's the beginning of you facing the lesson for why that thing had to happen to you, which again, it happens for you. And in all of our cases, they come from previous lifetimes like you would not believe. Like some of us have had issues that we have just recycled over and over again across lifetimes. And they'll keep happening if we don't deal with them and evolve on a soul level and become more loving, become more open, become more receptive, more gentle, more acting like the light of the creator. It's very important, because if we don't, then ultimately we will, drag ourselves more and more down, due to the weight of karma that we are not clearing, but instead accumulating. So it's super important to clear out any lessons that we are going through, any pain that we have. Our emotions are our guidance system. So any pain that we have, we should be using it as an indicator to the fact that we still have to do some work there. And it's not easy. This is not like something that by any means is easy, but that is why it is necessary, because you will keep running from it unless you actually face the pain head on and learn the lesson that is presented within it. And it's transformative. It will transform you as a soul. That is the point of it. You will break down only to be rebuilt by pure unconditional love. You will become a new soul, and you will be able to move on from these lessons. And actually, you'll have the framework or the blueprint as to how to face these lessons, how to face these trauma points when they come up. So when you face one, you know that, oh, okay, this other thing that is hurting me that I can see is very painful, it is also a lesson, and so I also must learn from it, and so I will allow for it to be my teacher, and so you now have this ability, you now have this propensity, this strength to face pain. And that is priceless, because nobody can do it for you. And also, nobody teaches us. This is a universal method, a universal formula. Nobody teaches us that this formula of sitting with the pain and healing it actually applies to every single trauma point that we have, every single pain point that we have, whether the wound is rejection, whether the wound, the trauma point is embarrassment, whether the trauma point is fear, of any kind, right? Fear of our health, fear of the body, fear of aging, whatever it is. Even worrying about how you look and making that the fulcrum of your life, that is a trauma point as well. It's a wound, right? Insecurity stemming from the physical body. So we have to face all of our wounds. That is our journey in this lifetime. That is why we're here. And when we do, oh, the rewards are astronomical. The rewards are first spiritual, and then they manifest into tangible reality. Like, nobody can come and give you confidence. Nobody can come and give you a lack of fear. Nobody can come and give you forgiveness for yourself and other people. These qualities must be developed over time through struggle, through hardship, through strife, through facing our lessons head on, and seeing them as they are, seeing them very clearly. And you could go through the worst pain, guys. I know this. I've been through quite a bit of pain in my life. So, you could go through the worst pain, the worst emotional pain. You could feel all kinds of betrayal. You can feel all kinds of, whatever it is. And even like physical stuff with the body, like trauma, like whatever it is. And number one, still the soul is not affected. By the way, the soul does not get affected. It has actually set up these things for it to be able to expand and grow and evolve. So the soul does not get negatively affected at all. It's only the psyche the subconscious mind. And number two, when we face these things, or rather, when we see these things as lessons, it removes the fear and the dramatization of the horrible situation. You know, like, it could be the worst thing, really. It could be, let's take an example of, like somebody saying that their significant other cheated on them and they're super betrayed, and it's, how many years I've been with this person, all these factors, right? So ultimately, what needs to be done is for this person to sit and realize that their soul has attracted this very situation for them to grow and evolve and say, you know what? It's okay that they cheated on me. It's okay. The unconditional love does not waver. Like, that is like high vibration to the point of being, not normal or not of this 3D world, or not, something you see in society, which society needs this type of information, right? Like, society needs this ability to be able to harness the light of the creator and come from that place and say, no matter what, it is good. Because this lesson, I bless this person. This lesson and this person has taught me something that nothing else could have ever taught me, which is unconditional love, forgiveness, acceptance for people's choices, understanding that I'm on my own path and others are on their own path, the ability to come from a higher place and not wish anybody anything negative, right? Like, these gifts, when you claim them, and you learn the lesson that you are being presented with, all your blessings come in beyond, 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 beyond. Because you have changed, you have evolved as a person. So doing that inner work, it echoes through the crevices of the universe. It echoes through space and time. Space and time are literally rearranged when we make different decisions about our perspective on this human life. And nothing can compare. Nobody can do it for you. And this is our gift here as human beings, to be able to learn from the suffering, to be able to be taught from the suffering, to allow for pain to be our greatest teacher. God will never allow something that is not supposed to happen. So this means, like, everything negative that you see in the planet has been approved, literally, which is like crazy town to think about, because it's like, oh, so do we have a loving God? Not only do we have an unconditionally loving God, but we have a fair God who distributes karma accordingly. Human life is so, we see it from one perspective, but the same people who are killing others in war today will be killed in war in their next lifetime. And the same people that are being taken out by war today have taken out somebody in another, like, we don't know, but we can only reverse engineer what had happened and understand karma from the point of the reaction rather than the action, which I think is important. It's important to study how karma works, and it's important to study how other people's lives go.